friends! Welcome back to my channel. This is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be looking at messages from your soul. So I'm really excited to do this reading today because we're going to be kind of analyzing your soul and then getting messages from it so that you can be more in touch with yourself and more in touch with the truest, purest form of you. So we have 4 different piles for you to choose from today. Starting with pile 1, we have the Black Lion Tarot as well as this piece of Apophyllite. And then for pile 2, we have the Weird Cat Tarot as well as this pink spiky guy that I believe is called Pink Aura Coated Quartz. Don't quote me on that. And then for pile 3, we have the Wildwood Tarot as well as this Azurite and Malachite, or Malachite and Azurite. I don't know, it's Malachite. Malachite and Azurite mixed together. And then for pile 4, we have the Cosmic Coven Tarot as well as this cluster of Amethyst, which is a lot easier to say. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one, especially in a case like this. Your soul is multi-dimensional as hell, and there can be multiple different things that your soul has to tell you, and it is quite possible that one pile may just not encompass everything, but it's all up to you. Don't force any messages if they're not resonating. It's quite possible sometimes there may not be a message for you here, but if it sounds like you, if it feels like it's resonating, then it's probably for you. So that's all I have for you guys. So once you've picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I will have all the timestamps listed below. And then once you've picked your pile or piles, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the Apophyllite stone and the Black Lion Tarot, this is going to be your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Before we get into the tarot, we're going to go ahead and start by just looking at your soul in general and see what messages want to come out first. So to start, we have the Siren. We have Authentic Truth. We have Rabbit, Sensitive Soul, Strengthen Your Boundaries and Cut Cords. We have Pedalite, maybe saying that wrong. I have this disease where I say all crystals, pronounce crystals like the wrong way, but it's fine. We also have Divine, and we have I Am Open to Receive. So 42 or 24 could be significant, or just the number 6, because in numerology, they both reduce to that. We're not talking about real math here. As I say, we don't do real math on this channel. I just have to say though, I love this energy. In fact, pile 1, if I can be frank with you, you are so bad in like such a good way. Like, I'm not communicating this correctly. The term bad bitch, I think fits very well for your soul. And you might be like, what? Like, no, that's totally not me. I hate to break it to you, but there is a badass within you, and that badass is your soul. And I think, unfortunately, one of the drawbacks of having your particular soul energy is that you may feel less attached to the outside world. You may struggle to feel like you belong, and you may feel like there's something wrong with you because you struggle to kind of integrate with the rest of the world. That being said, a lot of people are drawn to you, and those aren't necessarily always the best types of people, but that's just because you have such a beautiful light. Your soul is very radiant and like it's very attractive, and this has nothing to do with your physical appearance, though I wouldn't be surprised if you are quite attractive in a lot of different ways. But your soul it's deep, it's very magnetic, and it attracts a lot of different types of people. And the interesting thing is that I think in this lifetime you may have trouble with receiving, and maybe that's something that goes back into past lives as well, but it's almost like the world wants to give you so much and you don't really feel very deserving of it. And I think also you may kind of push people away because you don't know if you can trust yourself to be open to trusting others, if that makes sense. And I think you need to realize that the way that people treat you is not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them, which is kind of said a lot, but it's true. Because I definitely think that you have a history of blaming yourself for things that were never your fault in the first place. And honestly, just being like way too freaking hard on yourself. You need to be kinder to yourself, Pile One. That's the first thing I need to say, because you have an incredibly attractive soul, and that's not your fault. It's not something you should have to apologize for, but the side effect of having a soul like this is that you're going to attract a lot of different types of people, whether you necessarily want them to be around you or not. It's kind of this irresistible thing, this je ne sais quoi, where like you just kind of, people are drawn to you and they may not necessarily even know why. And part of it is because you have this ability to dive deep. You are a deep soul, a deep person. And even if you like to keep things light and on the surface, you have this really incredible depth to you. And you're able to see people in a way that not many people can. So it's really addicting for other people to be seen at such a core level. And, people's favorite subject is themselves, obviously. So people are addicted to being seen in an authentic light, and the fact that you have that ability is kind of addicting. And this is a beautiful quality to you, but you don't really extend it to yourself that much, probably because of things like low self-esteem or just trying to heal and grow from your past. But I just have to tell you, Pile One, you have such a beautiful and radiant soul, and that's not something to be ashamed of, and that's not something to hide out of fear. People throw rocks at things that shine, and I'm sure that you have dealt with your fair share of people being unnecessarily harsh towards you or unnecessarily critical towards you. And I definitely think that a lot of you in this group have had to do a lot of soul searching when it comes to, what do I actually believe? What is actually true for me? I get the vibe, for some of you, you could have grown up in a really restrictive environment, maybe religiously restrictive, or just maybe a very strict household, or very strict beliefs that you had to adhere to that just never really vibed with you. And I feel like those experiences led you to wanting to discover what your truth is. What do you truly believe? With the 4 here, that does give me Aries energy. You don't have to be, but you could have Aries placements somewhere in your chart. There's a natural leader within you, whether you realize it or not, but I don't think you're somebody that maybe naturally goes to seek power. But you may find that power comes to you, and that's because you have a genuinely kind heart. With this sensitive soul card being here, I feel like you care about others so much. You definitely need to work on extending that care to yourself, I'm not gonna lie. But you may wonder sometimes why you struggle to kind of integrate with your environment, and that's because you're not really meant to integrate as much as other people. You're different for a reason, and that's because you hold and carry a lot of divinity within you. You have a more evolved soul. You have a lot of natural blessings and gifts that not everyone gets. And instead of feeling guilt and shame about that, your soul is asking you to be more open to receiving this, because there's so many beautiful gifts that the world wants to give you, but they can't give it to you if you're not open to receiving it, or you feel like you're not worthy of it. With this Apophyllite card here, this is a stone, obviously. You may want to get some if you don't have any. I'm actually wearing some earrings that are Apophyllite right now, and I like them. But this card talks about being kind of detached from your environment and being more of an observer. And that's kind of what you are. And the perk to this is that you're able to kind of look at situations from an outsider's point of view and learn lessons through other people's mistakes. And this is such a flex, because instead of going through the trials and tribulations that someone else, going through trials and tribulations yourself, you can watch someone else do them, or watch dynamics happen and learn from them, and not even have to integrate yourself in that energy, because you are very sensitive, and there's a lot that you need to be aware of in terms of like protecting yourself. You are very, very psychic. Like there's so much purple here. And I also am just kind of loving how like this beautiful magenta purple vibe we've got going on. And so maybe that is a strong color in your aura, though your aura can change colors all the time. I really feel like your soul is here to, one, just live the human experience, but also to bring divinity into everyday life and to connect with the deeper aspects of people. And unfortunately, you can only meet people with where they're at. And one thing that you've probably already realized or experienced a lot is that not a lot of people can even come close to the depths that you're able to reach. And so that can be a very isolating experience. And what Spirit wants you to know is that this whole part of your growth where you're recognizing like not everyone is going to be able to meet you at your level, not everyone is going to be able to understand or validate your experiences, it's happening for a very clear purpose, and that's to help you validate your own experiences and help you validate what your truth is without having to have your external reality confirm it for you. Because in fact, the more you step into your truth, the more you dive deep and go within and really ask yourself what your truths are and go deeper, the more you're gonna recognize that like trying to follow what someone else is doing or trying to change yourself in order to belong is just making you drift further and further away from what your truth is. And there is this, I just have to, like, your soul is so beautiful. Like, you have such a precious and kind heart. And obviously that can be taken advantage of. And a lot of what you are learning right now or have learned already is the fact that not everybody deserves access to that. And that just because you have it doesn't mean you should always share it. And what I just love about your soul is that I hate to be all one direction, but like you have no idea how beautiful your true soul essence is, and you have no idea how pure you are. Like the fact, and then this isn't even your soul energy, this is definitely more your like internal dialogue, but you may like question yourself all the time, like question your intentions, question how true you're being or how honest you're being. And like the fact that you're questioning yourself just goes to show that you do have so much purity to you and you do have so much self-awareness, because like most people that are very full of themselves or selfish don't really question themselves. You know what I mean? And a lot of what you're learning right now is to find comfort in straying away from the pack. With the Siren card being here, like you're just top tier. Like you're top tier. I can't say it any way other way than that. You are top tier, and part of your soul mission in this lifetime is to find your truth and follow it and not worry about what other people are doing or worry about what other people think, because there are a lot of blessings that you're meant to receive from following your authentic truth. And if you've already been doing that, you've probably seen evidence of that already. But one of the hard things about following this path is that it is lonelier, and you might open your energy up to people who may not necessarily resonate at the same frequency as you, and you may find that that actually helps you more than hurts you. There's a little bit about learning to be comfortable alone, or be comfortable with the fact that you're not always going to feel understood. You're not always going to feel like everybody gets you. But not everybody needs to get you. And I think one thing that you need to recognize is that the more you allow your soul to take the lead and kind of navigate you, the more you'll realize that looking to other people to show you the way was a complete waste of time in the first place. You are so deep. And I think sometimes you may be afraid of that depth or afraid of how deeply you can see people and situations. And your soul is asking you not to be afraid of this, because the more you kind of lean into the discomfort of kind of getting into that depth and getting into these deeper truths that you may not be able to validate in your external world, the more you'll recognize how empowering it is to embrace these parts of yourself, because they're natural parts of yourself. They're not parts of yourself that you need to like cultivate or try to have. This is just who you truly are. And I feel like you may be really hard on yourself about your sensitivities, or about the fact that you're different, or that not a lot of people can understand you. And that's not, you don't need to have a complex about being different. I mean, I think we always have complexes about certain things, but like, it's such a beautiful thing that you're different, and it's such a beautiful thing that you are this sensitive, and you have a lot of gifts to give the world, but it's about refining those gifts and recognizing who is actually worthy of receiving those gifts. Not that you're like deeming people unworthy, but just there are people that can take advantage of your kindness. And so it's important to be discerning and recognize what someone's intentions or motivations are. I feel like you have the tendency to always look at the best sides of people, and that's a wonderful quality, but it can get you into trouble when you may not be recognizing the sort of deeper aspects of yourself, or the darker aspects of people. So you may be in the process of doing shadow work or learning to embrace your darkness, because the deeper you go, it's not all about light. Life is very dual, there's light and there's dark aspects. And I think part of what you're doing right now is learning how to dig deeper and find your authentic truth. Your soul knows your truth, and the more you are aware of like how you can let your soul come through, which we're gonna pull for tarot for that, the more you'll recognize that like you've had all the answers within you all along. And I think there's just always this fear in the back of your head where it's like, what if what my internal guidance is telling me is wrong, or what if it leads me astray? And I just need to tell you that it won't. And not only that, like, you have worked many, many, many lifetimes to reach this point. And while you may not necessarily remember them or believe in that sort of thing, that's totally fine. But what I can say is that you deserve the blessings that you're meant to receive in this lifetime, and you deserve to embrace the person that you are and stop trying to fit yourself into some mold that's not going to work. Like, you're not just a regular, you're not just a regular schmegular soul. And I don't think that any soul is regular and schmegular, but you have a lot of gifts that not everyone gets. And you have the beauty of being able to tap out of the 3D rat race and really look at things from a deeper perspective, and look at things from a spirit's point of view, and look at things from a point of view greater than beyond just what you can see with your own two eyes, or what you can see that's in your focus. You have such a deep and cosmic understanding of the world, whether you realize it or not, and your own soul has so many secrets it wants to tell you, and so many things it just wants to communicate to you. And I think there's a need to recognize that there is a lot of divinity within you, and a lot of light, and a lot of love. And the more you embrace like learning your shadows and understanding how they hold this light back, or hold you back from following your truth, the easier it will be to like stop punishing yourself and shaming yourself for your uniqueness, your charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. But yeah, in terms of your soul's energy, it's just very, very deep and very beautiful. And you're meant to attract a lot of different people, but you have the power to decide how much those people are going to be involved in your life, or what you allow into your life or not. And really the interesting thing is that your soul thrives in the emotional body. So if you struggle to feel your emotions, one thing I want to tell you is that your emotions are not something to be ashamed of or angry at. You can learn so much by actually feeling your emotions and sitting in them. And I think it's important to remember too, if you're a sensitive soul, you may pick up on other people's emotions that are not necessarily yours to begin with. And so the more self-awareness you can have of what emotions are actually yours and what emotions aren't, the easier it will be for you to kind of filter out the energies that are not necessarily yours. The more you can get in touch with your own energy, the easier it will be to recognize what energy actually belongs to you and what doesn't, and the easier it'll be for you to protect your own energy. But it is important to be aware that the more you work on yourself, the more you find your authentic truth, the more attractive you're going to be, and the more types of people you're going to attract, and the more you're going to have to be firm in what you're going to allow into your space and what you're not. But one thing I need to tell you is that you are like on the right path. You are headed straight towards your truth. And so if you are doing things differently that are working for you, keep doing them. If you're recognizing that what you're doing in your life right now is not working for you, be open to making changes, because your soul is really ready to like take the steering wheel and start navigating. And I think the only thing holding you back is the fear of being different, or the fear of not belonging, or the fear of how it might affect what you've been used to, and how it might affect the security you've had in the past in terms of dimming your light in order to fit in. So we're going to go ahead now and start pulling some tarot cards. And this has been really interesting, because I feel like a lot of what's coming through is not necessarily about your soul, but like what your soul wants and what's blocking you from being in touch with your soul, which I guess is kind of understandable, because it is a general reading and our souls are all so unique. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting to see what comes through. So we're going to start by looking at what your soul loves, like what makes your soul shine. And if you've ever seen the Pixar movie Soul, it's kind of like that. You know, what does the protagonist play? He plays a piano, right? Like, I don't know, if your soul loves piano, or just what can help you connect to your soul that your soul loves to do. So Spirit, what does pile 1's soul love? What makes their soul shine? Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands. This is interesting. Okay. Your soul loves challenge. Your soul loves stakes, and it loves the potential of what you can reap. If that makes sense. With the Ace of Pentacles with the 5 of Wands, your soul really loves excitement. It loves a little bit of chaos, and it loves the potential to get the bag. So with the Ace of Pentacles here, I feel like your soul really loves strategizing. It loves challenges. It loves obstacles and stakes. And it also loves stability and security. So anything involving like self-employment or exercise where like you may be competing against someone else, or something where you don't have to collaborate with others in the sense that there aren't people controlling you. I think your soul really loves that. But I think your soul also just loves a sense of security, a sense of stability. But it also likes to have a little bit of fuel or a little bit of fire lit under you. I think that you thrive in having stakes. So even if you're really safe, like maybe you struggle to motivate yourself when you're doing well, or like if you are doing well, it's like you can't push yourself like across, like you have trouble having that same determination when you're in a space that's more comfortable. So I think one thing your soul likes is to have stakes even if they're not real. So for example, let's say you're in school and you're writing a paper and you know that you're not really excited about it, you're not really motivated, you know you have to do it, but it doesn't really excite you. You could do things like think of someone in that class and be like, they're thinking right now about how they're gonna write a paper that's better than yours, and get yourself in that energy of like, oh hell no, I'm gonna write the best paper ever. I'm gonna kick everyone else's papers' ass. Like, I don't know, this is kind of an interesting energy, but essentially your soul loves things that can cultivate stability. So I think you love kind of like your soul, well not you, but your soul kind of loves like little practical things, like making sure your sheets are washed and like tidying up before bed. But then it also likes little things like if you're on the road and you beat someone like without like obviously don't like drag race or something, but I mean like you know how like when you're just like the fastest person on the road and you're just like, yes, like faster than all you. Okay, that's kind of me, but it's kind of fun, right? When like you're driving really, not really fast. I'm not promoting fast driving. I'm just saying like when you're the fastest bitch on the road, like it feels kind of good, right? And then sometimes people want to test you and they like try to get to your level, but they just can't hang. It's kind of fun. But anyway, with the Five of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles here, I feel like you need some sort of drama with like whatever you're going towards. And I don't mean drama like with other people, but it's almost like you have to create your own drama. Like if you hate the idea of doing your own laundry, you could be like, you could pretend that there's like some monster that wants to steal your laundry, and it's gonna steal your laundry if you don't get it put away, and then your soul's gonna love the fact that your laundry's put away after. You would just have to turn it into like a fun little game. But yeah, that's an interesting message. I don't know if that's gonna resonate, but hopefully it does. Okay, let's see how your soul communicates. How does Pile One's soul communicate to them, Spirit? We have 3 Pentacles. Okay, so this is interesting. So if you have a really busy mind, your soul really comes through when you're doing mundane busy work or when you're doing work in general. It's like a lot of your most inspiring thoughts or a lot of your most deep thoughts come when you're kind of doing something to keep yourself busy, but not so busy that you have to be cued into what you're doing. So like, for example, if you're crafting or you're annotating something, or well, annotating kind of requires a little bit more focus. Something like busy work, like putting shit away or tidying things up. Your soul comes through in little ways when your mind isn't occupied by other things. So like when you're doing enough to keep your body and your mind somewhat busy, it creates space for you to be open for your soul to just tell you what's up. So like if you're doing little busy work and then all of a sudden you get these bursts of inspiration or these messages that make a ton of sense, it's because you're expending enough energy so that it's not pent up and all aggressive, but you're freeing up enough space in your mind for the simple messages that your heart and soul wants to tell you. So also the things that you enjoy working on, oh my God, it's raining so hard. I hope you can hear that. The things that you enjoy working on, like your soul loves that too. I feel like you're meant to make your mark in the world in a way that's actually really constructive and really useful. So like whatever you do, I feel like will have practical benefits to the people around you. And I think your soul just loves like being of service to people in one way or another. And I think that your soul also will love just being of service to yourself. And so if you're like a person who dreads and hates chores, look at it as a way of like getting in touch with yourself. Like I would even challenge you to not like put on things that distract you, like music or like something in the background, and just like do your chores and kind of open yourself up to what your soul maybe like wants to tell you, or just see what pops in. Because like when you kind of get into the rhythm of it and you're not really thinking too much, that is the moment when your soul is going to come through and be like, hey, so here's what I'm thinking about. Here's what I want you to know, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, so what blocks you from hearing your soul? Spirit, what blocks Pile 1 from hearing their soul more clearly? Do the 5 of Swords. Okay, so this is definitely more of like an ego thing. But I think that you have the tendency to think about things in kind of a worst case scenario. Or you're just like very, very hard on yourself. So I would kind of see the 5 of Swords as like maybe bullying yourself a little bit, or not really acknowledging how far you've come and how much you've grown. Especially if like you have a similar mindset to a person that you, like, I'm struggling to communicate this properly. So if you have, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. You've gone through a transformation of some kind, right? but you may not necessarily feel like the person you've become. You may still feel like the person that you were. And so what blocks you from that is your preconceived notions of who you are based on your past self, and also the harsh things that you say to yourself, the harsh things you come up with in your mind. Like, if you don't do things perfectly, you might call yourself a failure. If you don't do things like the best way you possibly could, you might be really mean to yourself. But also with this Five of Swords, it's like all the beautiful things that want to come through into your physical world, like directly from your soul, you might find that your logical brain like tears them down, and it's like, no, that's stupid. Like, if you have an idea for a drawing you want to make, or a program you want to start, your logical mind be like, that sucks, it's not going to happen, and like just shut it down. I feel like your logical mind could at times really shut down what your soul is trying to do because it's afraid of failure, or it's afraid of things not looking the way you want it to, or you're afraid that it might be stupid, or you might experience rejection. And I think that's all kind of an illusion, or honestly a delusion that you're creating in your head out of fear. So I think the biggest thing that blocks you from hearing your soul is like this overly harsh critic of yours that you have in your head. So I think one thing that could be helpful is if you worked on that mean ass voice in your head. Tell it to sit the fuck down, because honestly, it's wrong. It's wrong. You're so awesome. Okay, let's get a message from your soul and see what your soul wants to tell you. We have the Two of Wands. So your soul wants you to start actually planning the ideas that come into your head. Like, I think too, if you don't have much of a schedule, I think your soul is asking you to have a more regimented schedule, because you may kind of let time fly to the point where you lose time to spend time with yourself. And I think your soul maybe craves some more structure, some more stability, because we did see here with like the Five of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, I feel like one thing that you need to work on is wearing out your mental body. So you can do that by more rigorous physical tasks, or by kind of upping your workload in the sense that you're kind of wearing your body out a little bit. I don't mean like work yourself to death and be like a workhorse, but I mean just kind of creating an environment where you don't have this excess pent-up energy anymore. Because when you get rid of that excess pent-up energy that I think is typically going to your mental space, when you get rid of that, that is what is going to make room for your soul to come through in stronger ways. Your soul is not loud enough to overpower the critical thoughts, or the racing thoughts, or the ruminating thoughts. So that's something you really want to work on. But also with this Two of Wands, your soul really wants you to start acting on all these plans and dreams you have. They're not going to do much good just sitting in your head. And I think you have a lot of really good ideas and a lot of really cool things you could create, or a lot of really cool ways you could contribute to society. And I think you really need to start looking at yourself as more valuable, because you are more valuable than you recognize. And I think that you're feeling a little bit insecure about what you can bring to the table, or what your worth is, because you may not get this validation from the outside world that you're the shit. So I'm here to validate you right now. Pile 1, you're the shit, and you have wonderful ideas, and your soul genuinely has something that it can contribute to society. You have a lot of beautiful gifts that you can give to the world, and a lot of beautiful ideas and beautiful perspectives. And one of the beautiful things about not fitting in is that you have a perspective that is different from a lot of people, and that different perspective could be such a game changer for so many people. You could really light the way for a lot of people to help see themselves in the world in a different light. And I'm feeling a little emotional, but like, you just have no idea how special and wonderful your perspective is. And the more you tear yourself down and tear your ideas down, the more you're just disempowering yourself, and it's really not fair to you. And that is a part of your shadow side that you really need to address, because it's not accurate, and it's actively holding you back from being the best version of yourself. You have a lot of wonderful ideas, and your soul wants you to act on them. So what guidance can Pile 1's soul give them at this time to help them enact these ideas and get to work, because your soul really wants to. Like, you have really cool ideas. You have really cool things that you are either planning or in the process of creating, and you deserve to follow them. They're not meant to live in your head. We have the 10 of Pentacles. And I just heard in my head, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I think that this is true. The 10 of Pentacles can also represent family. So I think if you're struggling and there's anyone that you view as family or someone in your family that you can really trust, I would talk to them about what you're dealing with, what you're going through. I would talk to them about your ideas and maybe ask for advice on how you can embrace those ideas. But I think this more so has to do with you recognizing that the big picture you're envisioning cannot come without the first steps. You're more so at the 3 of Pentacles rather than the 10 of Pentacles. That doesn't mean that the 10 of Pentacles won't come. Your soul is actually telling you you're meant to create a legacy. You're meant to create a lot of beautiful things, and you're in the process of doing that. But I think the thing that holds you back is the overwhelm about how long it's going to take you to get there, instead of just focusing on what you can control in the present. You know, you got to start with, like, trees don't get this big and shit, like, just in a day. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of water. It takes a lot of energy. And I think what your soul wants you to know is that it will lead you to abundance. It will lead you to a secure legacy, a secure life. Like, we're starting with the Ace and we're finishing with the 10. Like, a lot of your life is about attracting abundance and trusting your authentic truth to bring you to a place in life where you are nourished, where you are held, where you have a lot of material comfort, a lot of security. And I think one thing you need to recognize is that's not something that is going to be ripped away from you magically or just out of nowhere. You're creating a solid legacy for yourself. And the more you trust what your soul is telling you to do and stop fearing the action that you can take in the present, the closer you'll get to this beautiful 10 of Pentacles. And then I feel like there are people in your life that you can go to for help or for reassurance or for advice. And so if that's the case, utilize that. But I think honestly, the biggest thing is that you may be so focused on a big picture that you're having trouble seeing the steps that you can take in the present. And so that's why planning is so important, and looking at first steps and just taking those first steps and starting, because honestly, the hardest part of anything is getting started. And then once you start building on that, it gets easier and easier as you go along. And before you realize it, these incremental steps as you go, you're going to look back and be like, oh my God, look at all this progress I've made. Like, I am so amazing. Like, you are amazing and you have such wonderful ideas. And I feel like you need to know that. You need to stop being so mean to yourself. But that is the messages I have. So we're going to go ahead and finish this reading off with a little bit of advice from Spirit. So we're going to start with these self-forgiveness cards from your ego. So we have, I forgive myself for thinking that the more I give, the more will be expected of me. I choose to believe that when I ask myself to give only when I am in alignment with the joy of giving, I experience a deeper connection that allows me to access more joy and fulfillment. And we have, I forgive myself for feeling as though I should not have experiences that only I seem to benefit from. I choose to believe that when I give myself permission to independently explore my desires, I am able to return to my loved ones with a renewed passion. We also have surrender to trust. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong decisions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. Yes, we have new beginnings. An exciting shift is on its way. A new job, project, promotion, or home is in the works. So turtle could also be a significant, oh my God, you know what I love as well? Turtle could be a significant animal, but it's almost like you're swimming into new waters. I love that. It's so beautiful. We have the king himself, Archangel Michael. Stand in your power and be true to yourself. Yes, it's time to be honest with yourself. Plus, you got Big Daddy Michael out here ready to protect you and your plans and your dreams. Anytime you call on him, you need a little bit of boost, you need a little bit more confidence. Like, he's there for you. And if you've been feeling drawn or connected to Archangel Michael, that is a sign. He is here. He is working with you. He is protecting you and your ideas. And we also have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Yeah, I think you really need to recognize that, like, first of all, you should be really proud of how far you've come, but also recognize that, like, you gotta gas yourself up more, dude. Like, you're so awesome and you have such wonderful ideas. And it's been really hard, I'm not gonna lie, to kind of channel your energy because I do feel like your soul is fragmented in a lot of ways. I would look into soul retrieval or something like that, because I think that there are parts of yourself that you may not want to embrace because you've learned through your upbringing or conditioning that those parts of yourself aren't safe. But I think those parts of yourself actually have a lot of wisdom to give you and a lot of wonderful messages to give you. So just know that you are held and that you can trust yourself, and that the deeper you go within yourself, the clearer things will be. Stop looking for validation around you because it's not going to come. It's just going to make you more confused. Your soul has all the answers you're looking for. And the more you can make room for your soul to come through and shine, the clearer things will be. And anytime you are just feeling unsure of yourself, call on Archangel Michael. He is here for you. He loves you. I love you. Your guides love you. Your soul loves you, and you're doing amazing things. It's just your dumb brain, no offense. I mean, you have a really brilliant brain, but you know, it's dumb in the fact that it thinks that it's not great and it is mean to you. And I think that is really dumb, and I don't like that. So yeah, you gotta tell your brain, you gotta learn to retrain your brain. So in whatever way that is, cognitive behavioral therapy, writing down affirmations, whatever you need for you. Everybody has different things. I'm here to show you the way. I can't do the work for you. So you have to learn what is going to work best for you. But you just need to know that, like, this life is about you. This life is about exploring your depths and not feeling like you need to follow a crowd or follow something else. You are a leader, not a follower. And you have really beautiful things to create in the world. And I'm just rooting for you, dude. So that's all I have for you guys, pile one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, you can subscribe if you haven't already, and you can click that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my social media, though do be aware I do not offer personal readings, and there are scammers pretending to be me. So if someone slides in your DMs claiming that they're me and they want to offer you a personal reading, that is not me. I will not do that. So if it is not linked to my YouTube account, it is not mine, but you have to check from YouTube to Instagram, not Instagram to YouTube, because the scammers use the link to my YouTube. They're really irritating. And I have merch, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the pink spiky guy, this is going to be your reading. So before we get into your tarot cards, I want to go ahead and start by looking at your soul's energy in general and just see what comes through. Oh my gosh, this card is ready to come out. So we have number 30, I am ready. But to start, we have the Orphan, we have Grounding, we have Eagle, Ancestral Healing. Your ancestors are holding space for you to heal your past. We have Petrified Wood, and we have Gentle. I really love your energy. I also have some Petrified Wood here, so I thought we'd bring her into the mix. Isn't she pretty, by the way? Just like your soul. Anyway, you're headed for a very profound time in your journey. And this reading is timeless, by the way. So doesn't matter when I uploaded it. It just matters when you find it. But I definitely get the vibe from your pile that you've been very misunderstood. I feel like you've faced a lot of backlash for just being who you are. I get black sheep energy, and to be honest, you literally picked the weird cat tarot, and so you definitely have a unique soul that stands out in certain ways. But I think that a lot of people overlook you because you're really afraid to express yourself or afraid to let yourself shine. Or maybe when you did put yourself out there or express yourself, you didn't necessarily get the reaction you were hoping for, or people didn't treat you very kindly, which was not fair and not right. But shit happens, that's life, and people like to throw rocks at things that shine. But you have a very pure, beautiful soul, and definitely a sensitive one as well. And what's really taking place right now is a profound sense of bringing more of your soul self into your life. I feel like you kind of had this ego attachment around keeping yourself small, keeping yourself safe, by not really expressing yourself, by not expressing deeper truths, by not really going after what makes your soul shine and happy. If you were the black sheep of your family, this pile is like especially for you, because I think that you are a very special component to healing a lot of generational trauma within your family line. And with this orphan card being here, I feel like one of the biggest lessons that you're about to learn or about to integrate is the difference between connection and separation. And by that, I just kind of mean, you know, we are connected to everyone, but the illusion of separation is very heightened at this time. And what you need to know about your soul, first and foremost, is that you have a level of compassion and gentleness for others that is so amazing. And the fact that you have been beaten down so much by the world and rejected and been made to feel small, and yet you haven't lost your kindness, is one of the reasons why you are so special and so beautiful. And this just shines in your soul. And I would say if you were drawn to this pile, you've been likely feeling called to kind of put your thoughts out there more, put your ideas out there more, or just integrate more parts of yourself that maybe you were afraid to in the past. I'm getting something about roller skating for some of you. I don't know why. But if you needed a sign to get roller skates, get those roller skates. Or if you've been wanting to like purchase something that, you know, may seem silly or not, or like it's a waste of money. It's not a waste of money if it makes you happy. I mean, obviously survival comes first, but like, I'm just feeling encouraged. I'm feeling encouraged to encourage you to splurge a little for yourself. But I definitely think that you have very high expectations of the person that you're supposed to be and the things you want to achieve, and the gentleness and compassion that you have for other people, I think you find really difficult to extend to yourself. You might be feeling really scattered, really overwhelmed, and you might find that you feel a lot of comfort when you invest your energy into others, because like helping others and comforting others is almost like an extension or a way to soothe yourself and soothe your own feelings of scatteredness, overwhelmedness, and things of that nature. So the first thing that you need to know is that your soul is really asking you to work on grounding exercises. In fact, you should be doing grounding exercises every single day. So grounding exercises can be many different things. What works for you will be different, but those can be things like meditating, going for a walk, spending time in nature, playing with crystals, dancing, doing anything that connects you to your physical body and to the physical world. Because I do feel like you may be in this state where you want to make a lot of progress in your physical world, but you're struggling to kind of step into that role and feel comfortable in your physical body, or feel comfortable taking action towards what it is that you want. And I think that's partially because you may be stuck in your mental body, or you may be stuck in just fear energies, and the fear of not being good enough, or the fear of things not looking the way you want it to. And I do think you feel this sense of abandonment, where I'm sure like you may have experienced abandonment in the past, or you may feel this sense of abandonment like the universe is abandoning you. And you need to know that that's not the case. It's just that you're feeling quite scrambled at this time. And there are things that are working in accordance to divine order. And this petrified wood card kind of symbolizes the fact that you're exactly where you need to be right now. And in fact, the shame or the judgment that you might be piling on yourself is really, really unfair, because you're actually right where you need to be and you're doing a wonderful job. And you know, I think the best quote that I can give you is that you deserve the love that you so freely give to other people. And I think that your soul is really just in need of support from you. So I think positive self-talk could be really helpful here, or just affirmations that, like, you know, you're doing great, you've made it this far, you're safe, you're held by you. And I think that you're in this process of learning to develop a relationship with yourself, and a healthy relationship at that. You know, maybe you're really used to being really hard on yourself, really mean and cruel to yourself. And I think you have this inner awareness that can't happen anymore if you really want to reach your goals, if you really want to heal the past, if you really want to set a new narrative and a new precedent for what you want your life to be, for how you want to see yourself, for how you want to show who you are to other people. And I think Spirit is saying that there's not a lot of drastic action that you need to take. It's more so that you just need to be more gentle with yourself and make more room for you to kind of get out of your head and make space for your soul to kind of come through. So the biggest thing that your soul is wanting is grounding. And the biggest thing your soul wants you to know, just from these cards that I can tell, is that your soul is ready to start expressing itself more. And your fear may be holding it back, or your lack of groundedness may be distorting your awareness of when it's trying to come through. And so Spirit's kind of here, and your soul is here to say that you're doing much better than you realize that you are. Because first of all, I think that if you came to this pile, you've been working through a lot of heavy energies, you've been working through a lot of healing. I think that you've definitely been healing a lot around yourself, possibly your sexual orientation, or just how you see your body, how you see yourself. And your guides really want me to just highlight how much progress you've made and how wonderful you're doing. And I think the biggest thing is that you're still really hard on yourself, and it's not fair to you. And I think that you've done enough healing at this point to where you're realizing that you're ready to start making moves towards the person you want to become, and start grounding more of your truth into this reality. And so Spirit is saying this is all happening. You're already doing this. You're already in the process of this. The best thing that you can do is be kind and gentle to yourself. And in fact, the more you work on taking time to just slow down, be with yourself, be present, the more your soul presence is naturally going to come through. It's not something that you have to work so hard towards. It shouldn't be a challenge to be you. I think the challenging thing is the fear that comes with being you and what that might look like. But your guides, the universe, and your soul are all reassuring you that being you doesn't have to be a challenge. And you might face challenges in your outside world, of course, but you don't deserve to be hard on yourself for who you are and what you believe and what you're learning about yourself. I also think that the more grounded you become, the easier it will be for you to recognize patterns in your thoughts that maybe aren't the healthiest or aren't the nicest to you, that may be holding you back from looking at yourself and looking at your present circumstances more realistically. But the biggest thing I really just need to tell you, Pile 2, is that you're doing so much better than you think you are. And there's a lot that you're not seeing clearly because of the process of healing that you're in right now. And when you kind of get through this brain fog, is really what it feels like, you're gonna feel the shift for yourself, and you're gonna recognize that you really have come much further than you realize. With this I Am Ready card, I think, you know, you're kind of afraid of, there's a part of you that feels like you're afraid of seeing what you've missed out on by hiding parts of yourself. but you've needed to experience the energies in your life to get to the point where you are now to actually fully be yourself. So there's no point in beating yourself up about the past. And in fact, this whole like cycle for you is a lot about freedom and just recognizing that, you know, you can't change the past, but the present and the future are yours to determine, yours to act on, and yours to be who you want to be. I just have the Barbie thing in my head. But more than anything, I feel like you need to know that your soul loves you very much. The universe loves you very much. I love you very much. Like, I'm just feeling your soul. Like, I have so much love for you. And what you need to know is that you deserve to extend that love to yourself. And even though that's very, very, very hard, or can feel very hard, the more you just allow yourself to be you, the easier it will be to kind of release that. You may want to work on like judgment, not in the sense of judging other people, but I think it's natural, like we all judge other people without realizing it. But pay attention to how you perceive things, because when you judge others, you also judge yourself. And you may actually be judging others much less than you judge yourself. I feel like a lot of your judgment comes from you. And I think it's important to be aware of when you're being unnecessarily harsh or overly critical to yourself. You know how to be you more than you realize. And I feel like wherever you're kind of headed on your journey, I feel like you need to know that you're not behind, that you're not doing the wrong thing. You can't mess this up. This is your life. You can't mess it up. It all works in divine order. And I feel like just what you need to know is that you're not behind. And the pressure that you're putting on yourself right now is actually like really unnecessary and unfair to you. So we're gonna pull some tarot cards now and kind of look at what your soul wants to tell you. I love these cards so much. They're just so sweet and like, I don't know, fun. And I feel like you are a very fun person. And I feel like if you have any like really close friends, they're kind of coming through right now just to talk about how special you are and how much they love you. I definitely think you have friends that are part of your soul family. And yeah, you've got some special friends and some special people in your life that love you very much. And I feel like if they knew you were struggling this much with being hard on yourself, they would give you a loving talking to, because you are just so amazing, Pile 2. I don't know how else to say it, but we're going to go ahead and start by looking at what your soul loves, like what makes your soul shine, so that you can do more of that. So what does Pile 2's soul love? What does it want Pile 2 to know that it loves? What makes Pile 2's soul shine? Oh no. Okay. We have the Ten of Wands. So I was already picking up on this and I didn't know quite how to say it, but with the Ten of Wands, it makes more sense now. I definitely think that you love being of service to people. And I think that's something that you maybe take a lot of pride in. Maybe you enjoy having a lot on your plate, or enjoy being really busy because it doesn't leave much time for you, or you just get a lot out of being service to others. Maybe that's your love language. So I feel like your soul wants you to reassess how you distribute your workload and what you put on your plate, because I think you might be using your workload as an excuse not to work on yourself, or as an excuse to kind of escape yourself. And I want to be clear, like, this is kind of a paradox, because you have been doing a lot in terms of healing yourself, but I feel like you're not giving yourself time and space for rest. And with this Ten of Wands here, I feel like your soul does enjoy having a lot to work on, having a lot to do. Let me get a clarifying card. Can you clarify this Ten of Wands, please? Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, this has a lot to do with nurturing others and being there for others. I feel like because you maybe feel sometimes that other people aren't there for you, or you may feel a sense of loneliness, I think you kind of go the extra mile to be there for others and make sure they feel you're not alone. I like need you to know that the people that have you in their life are so lucky to have you in their life. And if there's anyone that does not, if there's anyone that does take you for granted, like, they do not deserve to be a part of your life, because you seriously are such an amazing friend. I get a lot of Taurus energy from this, but Earth energy in general could be what's the word? I just forgot the word. Could be, I don't know, I forgot the word. Could be relevant, I guess. Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy could be relevant, but I think what your soul really loves is feeling like you're of service and that you're there for others. And I think that's a wonderful quality to have. But I think what you need to be aware of is doing that so much that it burns you out, or that you don't have room or space for yourself. There's nothing wrong with being a giving and compassionate person, but you have to remember to give that to yourself. Otherwise, you don't have anything to give later. It's like, it's kind of a constantly running on empty type energy. And I think that you could learn a lot about how to take care of yourself just by paying attention to all the things that you do for others. If you're a parent specifically, I think that, your soul is very passionate about your role as a parent. I think it would just challenge you to maybe, if it's even possible, just carve out a little bit of self-care time for yourself. I know that's not easy. I'm not a parent, but I know that raising up humans is not an easy task. But I also think that if you're a parent, you need to give yourself a lot more credit. Like, you're doing a lot better than you think you are, and you're a really amazing parent. And I think you need to be kinder to yourself. But let's go ahead and see how your soul communicates, because I think you may be having trouble hearing it. So how does pile 2 use balance? Okay, interesting. So I think one thing that could be helpful for you is automatic writing. With the Justice card, we have Libra energy. But I think your soul may actually show you a lot of things through your relationships and through mirroring. So pay attention to how your relationships are, or what your relationships are reflecting back at you, because those could almost be roadmaps for the things your soul is ready to heal next, or the things your soul wants you to be aware of. But also with this Justice card, I think through text, like, you may find yourself being drawn to specific books or movies or any sort of like media. I think that your soul, you may have trouble tapping into your own soul energy. So your soul may actually seek out sources in your external realm that resonate with it so that you can get more clarity. I actually think that you may benefit having something in your 3D reality to kind of bounce off of, because it may be hard for you to kind of discern what is you and what is, an ego defense or a mental illusion or something like that, or mental distortion. I don't want to say illusion, if that makes sense. But I also think your soul communicates when you're more balanced. Like, it may be easier for you to hear yourself or hear what you truly want when you don't have so much on your plate that you're like overwhelmed and exhausted. It kind of seems like when you have a little bit of time to balance your life out and have a little bit of rest and kind of, get some time for self-care, but also get your shit done. And that it's like that kind of those in-between moments, like when you're driving somewhere, or when you're in a waiting room, or when you're in a line, or if you're in the UK in a queue, because I was joking about that with my British friend the other day. They say queue and we say line. She did not think it was, she thinks line is a dumb phrase. I don't know if I agree. Anyway, that's completely irrelevant. I think that the universe, your soul, comes to you in, okay, sorry, it's hard for me to like communicate this because your energy is really interesting, but your soul essentially is very crafty and very intelligent in the sense that you don't necessarily have to tune into it. And for some of you, maybe because you're just incredibly busy and it's hard to kind of get a hold of you, but your soul has really brilliant ways of communicating with you if you're aware of it. So like when you have those spare moments to yourself, instead of scrolling through like social media or something, maybe take those moments to just like set a timer for like 2 minutes and ask yourself, okay, what does my soul want me to know? And then just write without thinking. Or pay attention to your relationships. When you're around people, do you feel positive and happy or depleted and uncomfortable? Your soul can communicate with you in a lot of ways, through your emotions and kind of how you're seeing yourself and how much give and take there is in terms of like input and output. I hope that's not too confusing. I think there's a lot of different energies here, and the biggest thing you need to know is that your soul is always going to find a way to communicate with you. It's just a matter of being aware of it and open to it. So when you have those moments to yourself, kind of gathering your bearings, if you're feeling particularly lonely or feeling very unheard, that would be a sign for you to kind of go within and listen to your soul. Or if you're having trouble doing that, finding something that you feel drawn to, like a movie or a book. I would say more specifically a book that really resonates either with what you're going through or just resonates with your truth. I think actually books specifically could be very helpful for you to understand what's going on with you internally. And you might find that you're actually drawn to sources that end up having answers for you that you could have never even imagined finding out in the wild. But your soul is a lot more intelligent than you realize. And I think you're constantly being led to the sources, people, media that you need to kind of give you answers. I feel like you don't need to think too hard about it. The biggest thing your soul wants you to do, honestly, is focus on balance and focus on finding a happy medium. Like balance doesn't have to be 50-50, but I do think balance for you is making sure, with all the craziness, with all the chaos in your life, you still have enough for you, still have enough to see you, to hear you. And also when it comes to your relationships, if you are in a relationship with someone, I think that they could be a very helpful mirror for you. If you ask them, like, what do you notice about me recently? Or what do you think I could be doing better? Or what do you think I'm lacking? Like, I feel like if you have a really close, intimate partner, they could be a great source for you to maybe see parts of yourself that you may be less aware of. But ultimately, you're the ultimate authority on that. But I do think that your soul communicates to you in so many different ways. It's just a matter of what's most effective and what you're open to, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and see what blocks you from hearing your soul. We have the Page of Cups. Okay. So I do think that this has a lot to do with how you manage stress. Because with the Page of Cups here, I feel like when you get stressed and overwhelmed, you kind of just want like a quick escape. And I think when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, those are kind of like prime times when your soul is trying to speak to you. And you may be kind of uncomfortable by that feeling, and you may avoid it through things like the biggest thing I'm getting is like social media or things you may do to kind of just escapism type behaviors where you kind of avoid yourself. But I actually think your soul is saying, one way you may have not considered it can communicate to you is through creativity. So with the Page of Cups here, I actually feel like it's less about what's blocking you and more about what you can do to open up the lines of communication with yourself. I feel like your soul is constantly trying to reach out to you. And I think the biggest thing that blocks you is maybe not being in touch with your emotions or being in touch with your energy in general, because I do feel that there is a focus on the people around you and the people you care about, and less so about yourself. And even though you have this wonderful sense of like, I want to do these great things and I want to contribute to the world and I want to leave my mark on the world, it's hard for you to do that when you don't really pay attention to yourself and you only pay attention to the people around you. And I think that it would be really helpful if you made more room for you to be creative, whether that's through writing, through painting, through dancing, singing, whatever is creative for you, even if it's like in a video game or something. Well, maybe not a video game, just because I feel like there does need to be a more emphasis on you. But I do think small things to just distract yourself, or small things that are just a form of escapism and don't really give you the opportunity to connect with yourself, could be blocking you from hearing what your soul is trying to tell you. So let's see what your soul is trying to tell you. What does your soul... Oh, yes, I love this. Okay, so first of all, your soul is telling you you're a star, baby, obviously. But this is a lot about having hope and recognizing that sometimes your perspective may be very, very limited, or you may be zoomed in on the negatives in your life, or zoomed in on what you're doing wrong or what you perceive to be doing wrong. The eagle is actually a really great animal to have here, because the eagle is all about having a zoomed out perspective and having a very clear perspective. And with this star card being here, if you have a particular friend that's an Aquarius, they may have something they want to tell you that actually, you may find that they speak things to you that hit you really deeply, and they may actually be channeling messages to you without realizing, like either from your spiritual team or something like that. Strangers and like people do that all the time. So it's not this super crazy thing. But with the star card being here, I feel like your soul wants you to recognize how special you are and how unique your perspective is, and how many wonderful attributes you have, and the good that you can contribute to the world. I feel like you're very harsh and very critical of yourself, but you don't look at all the positives that you have, and you don't look at all the good that you do. You really are a humanitarian at your core, and while you may get really frustrated with humanity and you may get really frustrated with how life is, you have a lot of wonderful things to contribute to the world. And I feel like you just need to know that your light is seen by others, whether you see it or not. And actually it would really benefit you to start seeing it for yourself, because man, like, you do just have such a beautiful light to contribute to the world, and you matter so much. Like, the people that have you in their life are so lucky to have you, and you have no idea the difference that you make every single day just by like being kind to a service worker, or just going the extra mile for someone you care about. Shit, I'm about to start crying, but seriously, like, you're so hard on yourself, Pile 2, and it's so unfair to you. Like, you're so kind, and even when you don't have to be, and you're so patient, and I feel like you channel a lot of your negative energy towards yourself, and I think that you actually absorb negative energy from your environment and internalize it on yourself, and it's really not fair, dude. Like, a lot of the negativity doesn't even stem from you. It stems from people around you, and you just absorb it without realizing. And I feel like you have this tendency to internalize it and beat yourself up about things that literally don't even belong to you. So first of all, it is really important for you to start getting in touch with your own energy and grounding yourself, because I do think that you're leaving yourself a little bit vulnerable to the energy of others. So please be aware of that, because I think that you attract a lot of different types of people just because you are very kind and you do have a light. But you gotta see how special you are. Like, this is totally you. And same with the star, but like, I just see you in this so much. And like, you're just this precious being that cares about others and wants to be of service. And that's such a beautiful fucking quality to have. And man, you gotta be easier on yourself. I wish I could put this in more eloquent terms, but you are such a special fucking person. You're such a special fucking soul. And any ideas you have, anything that you want to strive towards, anything that you've been feeling called towards, you really need to honor that, because you give so much to others. It's time to do something for yourself for once. It's time to start honoring you, because you already help others, but when you make space to help yourself and then help others, you're going to be able to help others like twice as much, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to feel even better. And God, you're such a fucking beautiful person. Okay, so let's get some guidance from your soul now and see what it wants you to know. Yeah. Okay. So with this strength card here, this is about recognizing how much power you actually do have. Because with the strength card being here, this talks about the fact that power and strength doesn't really come from being the loudest or the strongest person in the room. It comes from being able to be compassionate and stand in your truth, even when people challenge that, or even when people are unkind to you, or when circumstances are unkind to you. Your soul wants you to kind of surrender this feeling like you need to control everything in your environment, or this feeling like you need to have an answer for everything, or that you need to be on top of everything, or that you need to have some sort of like 5-year plan, or you need to know exactly where you're going. You're doing wonderfully. And you can't beat yourself up for having needs, for, you know, needing to take care of yourself and needing to take time for yourself. You give so much to others. Like, seriously, you give so much to others, way more than most people do. And the fact that you are already so giving, you're abusing yourself in the sense that you're not taking enough time to give yourself nurture and rest. And you may not see it that way, but you can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. And I feel like what you need to know is that, you know, you don't need to fight fire with fire. The fact that you are so compassionate and gentle with others just goes to show your true strength. You know, a lot of people have a hard time being vulnerable with others. A lot of people are afraid to be gentle and kind to others. And the fact that you have that kindness and that compassion does not make you weak. It makes you strong. And the fact that you have the ability to be so giving to others and be so gentle and patient with others is a strength, not a weakness. And I feel like you need to start seeing the natural nurturing parts of yourself, not as something that makes you less than, but as something that makes you just, in general, a wonderful fucking human being. And also very empowered. The fact that you can have kindness for others, that you can forgive others, that you can heal things. Like, I'm honestly really frustrated with myself because I feel like I just don't even have the vocabulary to fully express how just wonderful you are. But I feel like what you do need to know is that don't mistake your kindness for weakness. And the people that do mistake your kindness for weakness, that's their mistake to make. And that's their problem, not yours. I think this next shift for you is a lot about how you define yourself and who you give your time and energy to and how you view your worth. I feel like this message has been so scrambled, but I hope I'm getting the right messages across, because man, you are just, do not think for a goddamn second that you are not special or that you don't have a purpose here, because you are so incredibly special. And the kind, gentle, compassionate parts of you are some of the most special and amazing parts of you. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to some final guidance. Like I said, I really hope that I did you justice, but I honestly just don't have words for like how amazing you are. Yeah, kind of blows me away. But we're gonna go ahead and start looking at maybe some ego responses that you need to assess. So to start, we have, I forgive myself for feeling as though my safety is dependent on another's decision to show up as I think they should. I choose to believe that when I stop waiting for others to give me what I need and accept that responsibility, I discover a strength always available to me. And we have, I forgive myself for shaming another's ability to effortlessly and endlessly receive from their environment. I choose to believe that when I allow myself to receive without reflexively giving back, I am replenished with the resources I need to give more freely. Yeah, don't be afraid to receive without needing to give in return. Like, you give so much already, and I feel like you need to know that you are so giving. We have change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. We have coincidences. Take note of the coincidences which are occurring around you right now. The universe is trying to have a say in your life. We have surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. And we have Archangel Jewels. Align with the highest and go with the flow. Yeah, I feel like really a lot about what's changing for you is just a lot of surrender. I also think that if you have the opportunity to be near water, take that, because I think that there's a lot of healing that can happen with water with you, even if it's just like taking a shower or a bath, like a really good self-care shower or bath. I feel like that could be really helpful. But I feel like a lot of this for you is just recognizing that it's okay to change. It's okay to change how you perceive yourself, how you give to others, how you give yourself. You do not need to define yourself by the person that you were. You're allowed to start defining yourself by the person you are and the person that you're becoming. And with this change card here, I feel like part of this growth and this movement for you is moving away from this idea that you're not doing enough, or constantly feeling like you won't be enough or you can't achieve enough. I feel like the universe is really telling you that you already are enough. You're already doing enough. And the biggest thing that you need to do is just trust that you're where you need to be, and that you can trust yourself to follow your own internal guidance and follow the signs that the universe is telling you. You are so much more wise and empowered than you think you are. And I just really want to have a talking to with your brain, because you have such a beautiful soul, and your soul really is going to do amazing things in this lifetime. And they may not look in the way that your ego wants to look at it, and they may not look the way that you see them now, but I think that they're going to far surpass your expectations. And man, if you could only see yourself through the eyes of the people in your life, I think you would only start to have a glimpse of how wonderful you are. But let me just tell you, Pile 2, you are so wonderful. And the more you honor the callings of your soul, I think the more you'll be able to step into the truth of the true beauty that you are. But man, it's up to you now. It's up to you to start seeing how incredible you are, and make space to honor the vessel that your soul resides in, and the person you're becoming, and the ways that you're healing, and just all the progress you're making. You're so awesome, Pile 2. And I think that's where I'm going to leave this reading. I really hope that this made sense. Channeling your energy was kind of tricky, but I hope I did it justice. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, which is really helpful. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be part of my notification squad and know whenever I upload a new video. You can check out my social media, though do beware, I have tons of scammers impersonating me, so just know I do not offer personal readings, and I will not DM you personally for a personal reading. I would always search my social media through my YouTube videos, because it will always be linked. But on Instagram, my scammers link my YouTube profile to their accounts too, and they try to replicate my account, so just be aware. I only have one account, and I do not offer personal readings. And I have merch link down below, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this helped. I hope that this gave you some sort of clarity, and I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 3. If you guys chose this Azurite and Malachite stone and the Wildwood Tarot, this is going to be your reading on messages from your soul. So first, I would like to look at your soul's energy, but I have to say before I start, I'm hearing the Alicia Keys song where she's like, this girl is on fire. So you don't have to be a girl, but I do feel like you are on fire in some way, or that song may be significant to you. Anyway, to start, we have the Hunter. We have Soul Tree. We have Dog with Divine Service. How can you serve yourself better? We have Jade, which I actually want to switch these. That feels better. Okay. And finally, we have I Am Responsible for My Life. And we have Voice. Okay. Wow, you are a go-getter. I'm like really impressed by your energy, I'm not gonna lie. You are one unstoppable force. I'm not kidding. And if you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself, I want you to know that this next stage in your life is really going to shock you, because you're gonna learn how much more you have within you than you thought. With the Hunter card being here and this Jade card being here, I definitely feel like you either have some sort of big goal that you are striving towards right now. For some, I heard like law or some type of like school in general, or gunning for some sort of promotion or some sort of big goal. But for others, this could just be going towards what you feel is your destiny, going towards what you want, even if you don't know what that is yet. There's this determination and this fire within you to figure out what that is and hunt for whatever it is that you're seeking, whether it's a degree, whether it is some sort of knowledge or awareness you don't have already. Whatever it may be, you're not coming home empty-handed. Like, the level of determination within you is honestly quite impressive. And I'm like, I have chills. Just like, I need you to know that you won't fail. Like, you will not fail. And not only that, whatever you're headed towards right now, just know was written into your divine plan, and you're actually right on target for where you need to be. The most exciting part of this journey is that you don't need to be so prepared. Like, I feel like whatever you're doing now, you're adequately enough prepared for this. But I feel like one of the beautiful things about being on this journey for you is that you're about to, if not already, discover so many parts of yourself that have been lying dormant that you were not aware of. There is so much divinity within you. And with this soul tree card being here, I feel like you could be really improving your connection to nature, your connection to your physical body. You don't have to be, but this card does talk about how trees are physical manifestations of angels, and physical manifestations of just divine love, and kind of the divine plan in terms of, like, you know, trees serve important functions, and it takes a lot of time for them to grow. And I think that the first thing that your soul wants to reassure you is that you are headed in the right direction, you are growing, and you have no idea how brightly you can shine. I literally got the image of Michael Scott when he's like quitting his job at Dunder Mifflin, and he's like, you have no idea how high I can fly. Like, that's your energy, I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like you finally had this kind of spark lit underneath you where you realize, like, if I don't do it, if I don't go after my goals, like, no one will. Like, no one's gonna look after me the way I'm gonna look after myself. And I feel like the divine really just wants to applaud you, because having this awareness is so awesome. You are taking accountability for what you want out of life. You're taking accountability for yourself. And I feel like you're actually already doing a great job of listening to what your soul callings are, to what the universe wants to tell you. And I think you're feeling more brave to kind of hear your own inner voice, trust your own inner guidance, and listen to what the universe is trying to tell you. Instead of serving others, I feel like you're learning to serve yourself and learning to prioritize yourself first. You know, with this, I am responsible for my life, and this number 5, I feel like one of the biggest changes that you're making is that you're prioritizing others less and prioritizing yourself and your goals more. And this is so awesome. Like, I just want to cheer for you. Like, this is such amazing energy. And if you feel like you're not prioritizing yourself enough, this is a sign that you can prioritize yourself even more. It is not selfish to prioritize yourself, pile 3. Like, seriously, you deserve this time for yourself. And like, like, I'm so proud of you. Like, whatever you're doing right now, keep going. And like, do not stop. Like, you're doing so great. And I'm just like, man, I wish I had a foam finger and like pom-poms, because like, you are doing so amazing, and the lessons that you've been learning and integrating are just so awesome. Like, you are already following your divine guidance, you are already following your soul's plan, and you are fucking killing it. Like, you're doing so well. I'm so fucking proud of you. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna try to contain myself, but like, I'm just so insanely proud of you. Like, you are literally running towards the light. And if you have been in a dark place, like, you are coming out of it. And I am telling you what, I am afraid for any darkness that tries to come your way, because there is too much light around you and within you to affect you. Like, man, pile 3, I don't think you know how powerful you are, but the fact that you're recognizing that you deserve to put that love and that energy into yourself, and you're taking responsibility for your needs, making time for yourself, setting boundaries, and really connecting to like your own truth, connecting to the earth and your role in it is just so awesome. Like, I can't even begin to describe how great you're doing already. And like, your soul just wants to like scream and clap and jump for joy, because it wants to tell you thank you. Thank you for listening to yourself. Thank you for listening to what you've been feeling. Thank you for prioritizing yourself. Thank you for doing what is right for you. Because man, like, a common theme in the piles so far has been people not taking enough time for yourself, and like, they could learn a lesson from you, because you may be one of those people that would rather focus on others, but you're choosing to focus on yourself more anyway, and that's so awesome. I'm so ridiculously proud of you, pile 3. Like, you've no idea. And if you feel like you're not prioritizing yourself enough, or you feel like you're not in this energy, you're either headed towards it or this isn't your pile. But if you were drawn to it, I think you're absolutely capable of getting here. And I think you'll be so proud of yourself if you do as well. With this little butterfly here, like, I feel like you're transforming in such beautiful ways, and you're learning how to speak from your heart and how to listen to what your heart wants to tell you. And I think you're having more love and compassion for yourself. I honestly really just want to read what this soul tree card says, because I feel like I didn't explain it very well or do it enough justice. And I feel like it has important messages for you. So I'm just going to read it really quickly. You're becoming more connected to nature. Trees are great holders of wisdom and knowledge. Next time you are near a tree, try asking it what it would like you to know, and listen with an open heart for an inspired response. The same life force that animates you also flows through the trees. We are all in this together, as the wise kids from East High would say. Now imagine that trees are physical manifestations of angels. Their divine essence flows deep into trees, as angels are far-reaching in their ability to help, care, and create. Trees, like angels, see and feel without judgment, always emitting an eternal stream of love. Allow angelic tree energy to flow through you, sending roots deep into the ground, forming a solid foundation that enables you to reach higher and deeper into the light and soul of you. From this vantage point, you can sculpt your ideas and dreams to be planted upon the earth for you to enjoy through your physical senses. Yeah, so I'm glad I read it, because it is put more eloquently than I could channel it. But this is really your soul saying, hey, you're already doing great. And in fact, the only thing that you could do more is just make even more room to hear your heart. Make even more room to fill your life with joy and to connect with those feelings of love. I feel like you're actually making room for your heart to speak. And I think as a result, you may notice a difference in how you're speaking to others. Oh my God. And I love as well, there's such a mixture of like green and blue here. So I definitely feel like there's a lot of heart and throat chakra upgrades happening in this pile. But you are really learning to look at yourself through a lens of love. Like, even if you can't say that you authentically love yourself or you love yourself every day, you're trying. And that's what fucking matters. And that's really all the divine can ask of you. And that's all that you can ask of you. And oh, you're just doing so great. I wish I could hug you. Like, you're doing so awesome. I wish I could like show up at whatever you're doing and like cheer you on. But just know I'm cheering you on from afar, and I'm cheering you on right now. And your guides are literally there, like with megaphones and pom-poms, and are like just so proud of you. Like, I feel like they're bringing your energy to me and just being like, look at how amazing our baby's doing. Like, they're doing so well, and I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy for you guys, and I'm so happy that you've been making these changes and really prioritizing yourself, because that is what matters. And I feel like you're already doing a great job. So in terms of the tarot cards, I'm kind of interested to see what's going to come through, because I do think that you're already doing a great job of kind of listening to your soul and things like that. But I'm gonna kind of go with the prompt I had anyway and just see what comes through, because no matter what, tarot will always tell us what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. But I do find it cool that you guys picked this pile with the trees, and then we have Soul Tree. So I definitely think that spending more time in nature, if you're not already, could bring you a lot of inspiration, or just help you feel more connected to the planet and the collective that you're serving. But yeah, this is such a beautiful energy, and I really feel like you're already embodying a lot of the energies of your soul, and I feel like you already do a great job of making your soul feel heard and seen. And yeah, you just gotta pat yourself on the back, because that's not an easy thing to do. And yeah, I'm just ridiculously proud of you. It's like not even funny. So let's go ahead and see, Spirit, what does pile 3's soul love? What does it want pile 3 to be aware of that it loves doing, or that makes it shine? Okay. So yeah, well, one, okay, your soul loves you. So I feel like, I'm sure you already know that, but your soul loves feeling joy. And I think that you're learning how to prioritize those feelings of joy, learning to prioritize the experiences that bring you joy. And I feel like your soul's just saying, more joy, let's have more fun. Your soul loves this. I think the only thing is, maybe when you get too focused in on your goals, you may sometimes forget to stop and play and have a little bit of fun. So I feel like your soul just wants you to know that anything that brings you joy, anything that makes you genuinely fulfilled, anyone in your life that lights you up and makes you feel seen and heard, is something that your soul loves. Like, you're already doing a great job of following the light, following what makes your soul happy. And I feel like you just need the reminder that you don't need to feel guilty for feeling joy, for having fun, positive experiences. Your soul loves that. And even if they're not what society would view as productive, life's not about being productive. You're a human being, not a human doing. And you're allowed to have fun and take time for yourself and take time for joy. So just know that, like, yeah, I can't stop grinning from ear to ear. This is really lovely energy. And if you've been working a lot on yourself, I just want you to know, like, it is working. Like, you are doing so wonderfully. And in fact, I think you're really going to be surprised through this process of bringing more joy into life, the parts of yourself that you didn't even know were there. So yeah, your soul is saying, keep following what sparks joy for you, what makes you happy, because there is no cons to doing that in terms of how it benefits your soul and the inspiration it can bring. So I want to see now how your soul communicates, or a way that your soul is communicating to you that you may be unaware of. But I mean, you're already doing a great job, so I don't know if this will be very helpful. We have more trees. Okay, so I feel like you're really being called to go out in nature and communicate with trees, which I know sounds kind of weird, but like the book said, trees do have a lot of angelic energy in them, and I feel like the angels want to talk to you through trees. So, and angels are really safe, really loving energies, and so I feel like nature, just in general, is a big way for you to connect with your soul. But specifically the book The Hobbit, or the movie The Hobbit, but I would say more so the book. Who's that by? I'm so embarrassed. I know this. I'm just channeling and I'm lost. Tolkien. Yeah, Tolkien. Which, like, you should probably already know. It's not like it's not one of the most famous authors and book series in the entire world. But still, if you're feeling called to read that, I would. But also, I feel like your soul just communicates in a multitude of ways. You know, like how a tree has all these different branches and shit? Like, there's lots of different ways your soul communicates. And I think you're discovering the different ways it communicates, and you're doing a great job. Like, also with the world being here, I feel like your soul communicates through lots of different signs and synchronicities. I feel like it communicates to you internally and externally. It really doesn't miss an opportunity to talk to you. So really, if you ever feel like your soul or your guides are like sending you signs, like trust that. The only thing stopping a sign from being a sign is you validating whether it's a sign or not. And a sign doesn't necessarily have to mean something deep. It could just mean you're on the right path or you're doing the right thing. So you don't need to over intellectualize what you experience too much. You can just, if something feels right or it feels like a sign, you can just validate it as that. I think the biggest thing though is that your soul is also helping you close out a major cycle in your life. And I think you're going to be reaching a point soon, if you haven't already, where you're like, like there really is like a sun that comes out tomorrow. I don't know why Annie's coming through, but you can bet your bottom dollar that you are headed towards really light and loving experiences. And I think this next cycle in your life is going to really be about you and about your desires and about what you want to achieve. And with the world tree being here, I mean, your soul is saying, I will take any method, any opportunity to communicate with you. So the more present and aware you can be in your environment and in your own energy and yourself, the more signs, the more you'll be able to recognize the voice of your soul. But I mean, I think you're already hearing it really clearly. So any ways that you feel like have been working for you, keep doing that. And I think the only thing is, like, when you feel really overwhelmed, get out in nature, specifically forests, because it seems like trees have a really healing effect on you, or have a lot of wisdom to bring you. I have a fucking hair in my ring and it's bothering me. Sorry I'm saying the F word so much. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. It's my favorite word and this is my channel. I can do what I want. Anyway, all right. So let's see what blocks you from hearing your soul. Endurance. Okay. So the biggest thing that blocks you, so this is the Five of Pentacles, right? And the Five of Pentacles is all about lack. It's all about, feeling out in the cold, feeling lost, and, really just being exhausted or sick and tired. So what stops you from hearing your soul is when maybe you get so zeroed in and focused on something that maybe you forget your needs, or you forget to make time for joy or make time for what you want to do or fun. Or just during tougher times when you may be focused on more serious matters or focused on getting something done, it may be harder to hear your soul. I think that you're being encouraged to work on balance, because while it is really awesome that you're zeroed in on your goals, you may have bursts of productivity and then periods of burnout where you can't really listen to yourself. So I think the best thing that you could do in terms of listening to your soul is to make sure you're staying on top of like your physical needs and staying on top of like, your rest, your hydration, things like that. So you don't reach your goals and then just completely like collapse or be out of commission for a few days because you're just so exhausted. I feel like with the Five of Pentacles here, negativity as well is something you want to be aware of. Negativity can honestly be really contagious, and there are so many sources in our environment of negativity. And not only that, misery loves company. So if you feel like you're in an environment that's making you feel more negative or around people that have a more negative perspective, I feel like your soul is encouraging you to not feel like you have to be around that energy if it doesn't make you feel comfortable. What I really like about this Five of Pentacles is that there's still, like, even though, this little person is, in this kind of cold environment, they're still focused on the fire. And I feel like when you are feeling low or you're feeling more negative, it's important to look at the reasons why you're going after something. I feel like what really lights your soul on fire is the deeper reasons behind what you're striving towards, and a reminder of all of the wonderful things in your life, of the things that make you happy, of the things that make you feel passionate. But I do feel like if you're someone who struggles with mental or physical illness of some kind, you want to be aware that sometimes like the best you can do needs to be enough. Because when you have like literal physical limitations, or you're really struggling with your mental health, like that takes a lot of energy, and it does take your ability, one, to be kind to yourself, and for you to recognize that like you're not always going to be able to perform at 100 every single day, and that when you have certain limitations, you shouldn't beat yourself up for that. It's a sign that you should give more care to yourself and recognize that you are human and you have struggles like everyone else, and it is okay to take time to just nurture yourself and be there for yourself. You are a really driven person, and you may forget to take time for self-care or to feel joy, or to remind yourself that you don't need to push yourself so hard all the time. It is wonderful that you're driven, but you don't want to like harm yourself in the process of doing that. So just important to be aware. I think that it's hard to hear your soul when you're too zeroed in on a goal, or you're kind of stuck in a very real struggle or a very real energy that you're having trouble getting out of. It's important to just be compassionate to yourself in those times. But I think as well, like, if you're doing well, if you're feeling well, and you're in an environment where maybe other people aren't doing so well, or other people are kind of bringing your mood down, just know that you're not responsible for them. And I think you recognize that. You're recognizing that you're responsible for your own life and they're responsible for their own life. I think it's just important to remember that you don't have to take on the perspective of someone else just because you're in their area, or just because that made me think of that Vine making fun of like like how white kids talk to their parents. Like, she can't talk to you like that. This is your space. This is your area. She can't do that to you. But I really do feel like your guides are saying, you know, take time to carve out space for like gratitude and love for yourself, which I think you're doing already. But maybe when you get really focused on your goals, it may be hard to take that time for yourself. So just remember, like, when you're out there being a badass, remember it's also badass to be nice to yourself and take care of yourself. And if you're struggling, it is badass to give yourself a break and be kind to yourself. That's the most badass thing you can do. So let's get a message from your soul and see what your soul wants to say to you. The Queen of Cups. Okay. Yeah, it wants you to know like how wonderfully you're doing, and it wants to thank you for listening to it and for not invalidating your emotions as much, if at all. It wants you to know that you can really trust the intuitive guidance that you're getting. You can trust what it's saying to you. Like, this is your soul saying like, hey, you're hearing me loud and clear, and like, we are in this together, and like, I am here for you, and like, I am rooting for you, and I don't know, your soul is you. So like, you just know, like, at the deepest part of your core, like, you are hearing yourself, and that is such an accomplishment. And like, I'm literally like so insanely proud of you. And your soul, I feel like, is just expressing gratitude towards you, towards your physical body, towards your mind, towards your emotional body, for just dealing with yourself, going after your goals, but also making time to hear what your soul is telling you. You're following your guidance and you're doing an excellent job. And I feel like what your soul just wants you to know is that you're psychic, babes. I mean, everyone's psychic, but you're doing an excellent job of picking up on what your own internal guidance system is telling you. And even though it may feel weird, and it may feel at times like you're swimming upstream like a salmon does, you know, it's instinctual, and following your instincts is not leading you astray. And I feel like you need assurance of that. So let's see if there's any guidance that your soul has for you that they just want you to be aware of before we get into your further guidance. We have the Two of Swords, right? Arrows, yeah, arrows or swords. So I feel like your soul is telling you that the biggest thing that stops you, and that your soul wants to remind you, is that your guidance may not always make sense to your logical brain, and that's okay. Because the logical brain, while it has some strengths, it has a lot of weaknesses as well. And I feel like your soul is reminding you that just because something doesn't make sense to your linear mind doesn't mean that your internal guidance is leading you astray. Miracles happen every single day. And in fact, I feel like your internal guidance is telling you to the thing that could help you trust it even more is to not look at the results of your guidance, but just learn to feel into what your guidance is telling you, and trust that the physical results of what you're doing will manifest in time. I feel like the biggest thing that maybe holds you back is just your internal critic. And I feel like your soul is really saying, like, you're already doing a great job listening to me, but maybe you're held back from listening to your soul more because your logical mind thinks you should do things a certain way, or maybe interjects when your soul is telling you something. So I feel like what you need to know is that you don't need to justify everything to your logical mind. You can trust in something even if it doesn't make sense. You don't need a reason to do something. The reason of it just feels right, or it's what I'm feeling called to do, is enough. I mean, as long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself, like, you can follow your internal guidance, and your internal guidance will feel right because it'll feel good and it'll feel natural. It won't feel like you're forcing something or like you should do something. The biggest thing that your internal guidance system wants you to know, and like your soul wants you to know, is that it will not lead you astray. And in fact, do not let your logical brain stop you from listening to what your soul is telling you, because logic is flawed just like anything else. Like, logic is important in certain cases, but when it comes to your soul's path and your soul's journey, there will be guidance that your soul will give you that will not make sense to your logical brain. And I feel like your soul is telling you not to let your logical brain talk you out of things that feel right, because you're more right than you realize. But you're already doing an amazing job at this. I feel like you just need that. You just need that reminder. And I just cut the deck, and we have the Ace of Wands, and I feel like, you know, your soul is really saying, just keep following that spark. Like, do not let the fear of being wrong or the fear of falling stop you, because, you know, mistakes are the best opportunities for learning and growth that we have. But I feel like you'll realize more often than not that your soul knew what you needed before you even knew it. So don't feel like you need to know exactly where you're headed next, or what you need to do next. You just need to keep your eyes on what you know to be true, and kind of keep your focus internal, in the sense that your internal guidance is stronger than anything surrounding you. But I think the best analogy I can give you is, like, if you're ever driving on like a foggy night, you know, you may not necessarily be able to see 500, 1,000 feet in front of you, but as long as you can see, you know, just, you know, the lined things that keep you on the road and what's directly in front of you, you're fine. You don't need to see what's super far ahead of you. You'll be ready, and you'll get there when you get there, I guess is the point of it. I think your soul's really just saying, trust the process, trust what you're doing. You're already doing an amazing job. And yeah, man, I can't begin to describe just like how like meaningful this energy is, and how proud I am of you. I'm like tearing up. Like, I literally, like, you're doing wonderfully. So we're gonna go ahead and go into guidance now, and just look at some advice that Spirit has for you. So we're gonna start with some ego cards, things that you may need to forgive yourself for. So first we have, I forgive myself for thinking that it means anything about me should one of my loved ones experience challenge. I choose to believe that it is safe to trust those I care for to grow resilient through the experience of difficulty, so that they may realize their strengths. And we have, I forgive myself for feeling as though if I don't do it, no one will. I choose to believe that when I allow others to prioritize tasks as they see fit, I allow them to clarify what is important, so that they may pursue a life more resonant with their truest selves. I love that. And yeah, I think you're already doing a great job at a lot of this. It may be your natural inclination to want to help others or want to save others, but you're saving yourself, and you're doing an excellent job. I'm just really blown away by you, honestly. So we have surrender to complete healing, open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Oh my God, this came out in the last pile. So we have coincidences. Take note of the coincidences which are occurring around you right now. The universe is trying to have a say in your life. We have freedom. I possess the power and free will to create my own happiness, which you are already heading towards, my dude. And we have Archangel Sandalphon. We have Sandy. Tune into your divine potential and bring the world into harmony. So I do want to say that if you do anything with music, keep doing that. And actually, if you're doing anything with music or your voice, you can really call on Archangel, I call him Archangel Sandy, but Archangel Sandalphon, to come in and assist you, or just be a part of your work. I feel like they would be very honored to be a part of it. And I almost feel like, you know, they're in the wind trying to talk to you, but really the universe is just applauding you and telling you like you're already on the right path. You just have to keep focused and reminding yourself that you deserve this life that you are authentically living, and you deserve this joy, you deserve this path, and yeah, you just deserve wonderful things, pile 3. So I'm glad you're starting to recognize that too. So that is all I have for you guys, pile 3. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me and my channel. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, which is super helpful. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can also check out my social media, though do be aware I have tons of scammers pretending to be me because life is unfair. And yeah, I don't offer personal readings, so if anyone slides in your DMs claiming to be me and offering you a personal reading, that's not me. They're a gosh dang liar. And I would say if you're looking for my social media, find it through YouTube, because I always link my social media. And I mean, also, like, I'm my ratios and shit are a lot higher than scammers, but yeah, I make sure you're following the right account. And I have merch, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose this Amethyst cluster and the Cosmic Coven Tarot, this is going to be your reading all about messages from your soul. So we're gonna start with some oracle cards to look at your soul's energy right now. And I have to say, before I even start, the song Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney has just been playing in my head on repeat, so that may be a significant song for you. It also makes me think of that Sweet Life of Zach and Cody episode where he sings that song. I don't know. That could be significant, or maybe that show's significant. Anyway, let's get into the reading. So to start, we have the Mystic. We have Color. We have Celestite. We have Penguin, Diamond, Light Activation. Light activations and new energies are coming your way. Be open to receive and welcome them in. I'm kind of obsessed with all of the color coordination. We also have I Have a Higher Purpose. And we have Beauty. See? You have a beautiful soul. I actually have some Celestite right here, so I'm going to put this bad boy over here as well. So, okay, this pile may not resonate for everyone, but if you are a light worker or someone who is very spiritual, who is already kind of in tune with their spirituality, or wants to get deeper into their spirituality, or just feels a calling to discover their own mystic truths, discover their truths and truths about the world, you may be interested in the occult, or just the deeper, more spiritual sides of life, this is definitely your pile. As Jesse McCartney would say, you are a beautiful soul. And I can't get that song in my head. It's making it hard to channel. You are due for some upgrades, my dude. Some pretty major upgrades. You've likely already been following a deeper purpose, and I think that if you have any spiritual gifts, talents, or skills, those are going to be upgraded. With this Diamond Light activation, if you're watching this during the month of April, the diamond is the birthstone of April, so April could be a significant time frame. I am filming this in April, but this is a timeless reading, so whenever you happen to come across it, the next upcoming April could be a significant time for you. But for some reason, this penguin is also reminding me of the penguin from the movie Billy Madison. And in that movie, it's an Adam Sandler movie from the 90s. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I mean, if you like funny things that have... Anyway, in that movie, there's like a penguin that only Billy can see, usually when he's drunk, and he like chases this penguin everywhere, and everyone like thinks he's insane because he kind of is in the movie. But anyway, I think what this message is trying to convey is that I feel like you've been seeking like a deeper connection to the universe, or just a deeper awareness of your gifts, or an upgrade of your gifts and skills. And I feel like the universe is saying this is not something you need to chase. This is something that's going to come to you, and something that you're going to receive naturally. Penguins could be a sign that you're on the right path, but I definitely think that you are opening up to a broader perspective and a broader awareness of the world and yourself, especially with the color card being here. You're definitely moving away from more black and white thinking, and you're starting to look at the world in a much more multidimensional way, where you're seeing things like this and that are true, and that like truths can coexist, things of that nature. I also feel like you may be more sensitive to color. So like, for example, you may be repelled by certain colors and may be drawn to others. I would pay attention to what colors you find yourself wearing, what color foods you're eating, what kind of colors you just feel drawn to in general, and what colors repel you, because they may have interesting insight for you. There is healing power through color energies. And actually, I have one of the books. So this is the second volume of the book. The first volume is in the other room, but the Tapestry of the Gods that talks about the 7 rays, and it kind of goes into detail about the energies of these rays. This might be something you want to look into. There's a lot of different volumes. I'm only in the first one, but it's like any other room, and I'm not going to go get it. But that might be a book that could be useful to you, or have interesting information for you, especially if you're on a healing path or a path of light work. With the Celestite here, if you don't have Celestite, I would also recommend maybe looking into getting some, or if you do have some, carrying it around with you more, because there's a lot of angelic energy trying to communicate with you right now. And I think one thing that you need to know is that you're not crazy. Going through all these changes and going through all of these upgrades and these spiritual advancements can be kind of intense. And sometimes it may feel like you're almost drunk on spirit, or you might feel a little bit insane seeing things that other people can't see, or feeling things or knowing things that other people can't or don't know. And I feel like the universe is saying that there's a higher purpose to all of this, and not only are you on the right path, but you're ascending and evolving wonderfully and beautifully. In fact, you're reaching a point where you're ready to integrate more spiritual energies, more beautiful aspects of yourself. And I feel like you're just opening to more wisdom of your soul. And I feel like Spirit really just wants to applaud you for your ability to transmute a lot of darkness, especially darkness within you and around you. I feel like you've been doing an excellent, excellent job of learning to balance your light and shadow aspects, and also learning to balance the darkness with the world, the darkness of the world with your inner light. I feel like you're not letting the outer world's darkness dampen your inner light, and I think you're doing a really good job of learning to prioritize what you need to feel nourished, what you need to feel safe and held. The universe is just wanting to compliment you on how beautiful your soul and your heart is. You're very special, like, just straight up. I mean, I don't know how to say it other than like, you have a very special soul, and you have a very wise soul that has probably been through a lot in lifetimes. And in this lifetime, I'm sure you've been through a lot, because life is just a lot. Being in a physical body and time-space continuum, that shit can be tough. And I feel like your soul and spirit are coming to you saying, there is a higher purpose to all of this. When you get out of touch with that truth, just remember that even when you kind of get lost in the darkness or lost in what you're dealing with, just know that there's always this greater unconditionally loving wisdom that's always available to you. And in fact, anytime you need to call upon angels or your guides that love you unconditionally, please feel free to do that. Please feel free to pray more. In fact, I think that your guides are encouraging you to pray even more, or speak into existence what you're wanting, or speak your worries, so that you can kind of pray to angels to help lift you from that. I feel like you need to know that there's just a lot of angelic energy around you, loving you, comforting you. And I think that specifically your higher chakras are going to be opening, upgrading, and integrating new energies. And it might feel a little weird, and you might need more rest, or you might need more time just for you, or more time for reflection, or more time, like, once again, to rest. I think rest is going to be a big thing and theme here. And I think that these upgrades that you're going to be dealing with, while wonderful, may be exhausting or may have physical effects on your body that may require you to relax more, or take more time for self-care. And I feel like your guides are telling you that's okay. You know, you don't need to be at 100 all the time. You don't need to be going 90 miles an hour all the time. Sometimes it is more effective to take things slow and just allow yourself to integrate these energies rather than push for something greater. I also feel like you're opening up to more abundance, and I think that there's a lot of blessings coming to you. Your soul is letting you know this path that you've been following is just unfolding beautifully and seamlessly. And not only that, the opportunities are just becoming even more limitless for what you can achieve and what you can do. There is a higher purpose to everything that you're experiencing, and your soul is just so freaking beautiful inside and out. And I really feel like you're attracting the experiences and the people that you're meant to meet, meant to know, meant to work with, collaborate with. And you don't need to put so much effort into doing this. I feel like there's a lot here about, instead of feeling like you have to chase, just recognizing that the universe will bring these things to you. It will attract it to you. I think you already have been doing that, but you may slip into this habit or pattern of feeling like you need to chase after what you want, or if you don't do it, like, you're never gonna get it. And I feel like the universe is saying, we have your back. Like, the same way you have ours, the same way you're working towards the universe, you're working on the path of light. Like, the universe is working to support you. The universe is working to nurture you, provide for you, and bring you the experiences and the answers that you need. So I feel like the universe just wants you to know that you can be a little bit easier on yourself, and you can take more time to rest. And, you know, don't be afraid of the changes and shifts that you experience in the near future, because they're happening because you're ready for them. And your awareness and your understanding of yourself and the world is just going to be expanding, and you're going deeper into yourself, deeper in your soul. And there's a lot of beautiful energies and beautiful things you're gearing up to experience. And yeah, the multidimensionality of your soul is just expanding, and your understanding of yourself is expanding, and your purpose of why you're here and your understanding of why you're here is expanding. This is a lot of expansion energy, and it's really beautiful. And I feel like you're going to be feeling more connected to the truth of who you are and the truth of others. I think you're going to be more accepting of where people are at in life, and not feel like you need to convey your point or understand it too deeply. I feel like there's just a lot of deep acceptance coming your way, and excitement and expansion for what's to come. So let's go ahead and start channeling your soul more and get some information from your soul, because kind of seems like the biggest thing you need right now is reassurance and permission to rest. I'm not gonna lie. But what's interesting is the universe is kind of telling you what's up and what's coming. So I want to get more of what your soul wants to say to you directly. This is the Cosmic Coven Tarot. I just got it, and I really like it so far. So I hope you guys do too. Give this one more good shuffle. So I want to start by looking at what your soul loves, what makes your soul shine, and what you can do to nourish your soul. Ah, oh my gosh, okay. What is this? Okay, the Seven of Pentacles, but it came out in reverse. So I guess I'm gonna take it in reverse. And this is a very specific message, but you know, the Seven of Pentacles upright is a lot about planting seeds and allowing time for things to grow, allowing for your returns to come. And I feel like your soul is actually saying that your soul is just as impatient as you are, but there's a deeper wisdom. I guess maybe I shouldn't say your soul's impatient. Your soul's excited. Your soul's excited for your future path. And I feel like your soul wants you to know that it's just as excited for you to get where you're headed as you are. But impatience doesn't really help anything. So I think what your soul wants you to know is that when you feel that excitement for what's to come, and you might feel a little bit impatient, like, I just want to see where this is headed, or I want to see where this is leading. I feel like your soul and your higher guidance is reminding you that this is a lot about the journey, not the destination. And that that excitement that you feel is a sign that you're on the right path, a sign that you're doing the right things, and a sign that the answers and the I don't even want to say outcomes, but the experiences that you're headed towards are aligned with you and are closer than you think. I think your soul wants you to know that it's okay to be impatient and it's okay to be excited, because your soul's excited too. But try not to get too bogged down by things not happening in a certain time frame, or things not happening in a way you planned, because the divine plan is always better than your plans. No offense. Like, the divine plan does not give a single shit about your calendar or what you're planning, because everything really does happen in divine timing. And I'm sure you know this better than most people, but it may be easy to fall into that ego trap of like, when's this certain thing gonna happen? Or how's this thing gonna happen? Or just wanting to know. And I feel like your soul is saying that part of the fun of this journey is not knowing, it's discovering. And while it is more comforting to know exactly where you're headed, I feel like your soul is saying, you have planted a lot of seeds, and it's okay to be impatient. It's okay to want to know, but learning to find peace in not knowing and find acceptance in that can be really helpful, because then you can just kind of embrace the excitement that your soul is feeling and just say, just learn to find peace with that excitement instead of getting frustrated with the universe that things aren't happening on your time frame. So I guess that's more of a message rather than what your soul loves, but that's what your soul wanted to say. So speaking of your soul saying things, let's see how your soul communicates, or maybe a way of communication your soul wants to utilize that you're not using yet. We have the Three of Pentacles. So I really do think that there is people coming into your life that you could be collaborating with if they're not here already. I also think that your soul really loves the work that you're doing. If it's work that you're passionate about, if you're thinking about doing something that is more aligned with your soul purpose, I feel like your soul is actually really encouraging you to do that. I feel like, especially for this pile, what you do to sustain yourself may be different from what the average person does. But I feel like your soul is really encouraging you to trust what it is leaning towards, even if it's just like a side hustle or something you do on the side that makes a little bit of extra coin. I think that your soul is trying to provide opportunities for you to have more abundance and enjoy the process of reaping that abundance. But I do also think that your soul is aligning you with potential collaborators or people that you could make projects with. And I think that it's through these people that you'll learn a lot about yourself and form these soul connections with people that I don't think are really romantic, but more so just like true and honest soul connections with people where you're united by the same purpose and united by the same desire to bring more beauty into the world, to bring more kindness, to bring more of spirit down to the earth. And I think that collaboration is going to be a big thing for you, and I think you're going to be aligning with more spiritual folks and more people that share your vision. And I think you're actually going to be shocked about what you'll learn from these people and what these people will learn from you. So if you don't know them yet, I think you need to know that there's some cool people coming into your future that really, really are going to make you feel uplifted, and that maybe opportunities that may bring you opportunities to collaborate or opportunities to learn more about the universe, about yourself, about your soul. Like, even though Pentacles are pretty grounding energies, this Three of Pentacles to me really feels like your soul just wants to give you the message, if you're having trouble trusting in it, that the universe is aligning you with the people and experiences you need to get to the next step. And you don't necessarily need to know how, you just need to trust the little nudges and inclinations that your soul has. Your soul is leading you exactly where you need to go. It's like literally the world's best GPS. Like, Google Maps cannot compare. She can't even she's not even in the same lane. Like, your soul is Rocky. Well, I mean, maybe Rocky from that movie Rocky, but I was thinking of SpongeBob, the snail race, you know? Rocky's the one that wins, even though he's not even a snail. But yeah, that was kind of a bad analogy. But yeah, there's a SpongeBob episode where the snails race, and yeah, everybody doubts Rocky, and Rocky's the one that wins, which is Patrick's quote unquote snail. But oh shit, that was not a good shuffle. Let me reshuffle that. But essentially, your soul is telling you that you need to worry less and surrender more to what your higher guidance is telling you, to what your inner self is telling you, because you're headed exactly where you need to be, and you're doing a great job. And yeah, you can trust what your soul is telling you. But let's go ahead and see what blocks you from hearing what your soul is telling you, or the messages the universe is trying to give you. Okay. Oh, okay. So we have the Ten of Swords and we have the Ten of Cups. This is actually kind of deep. So the biggest thing that really holds you back is doubt and fear, but mainly doubt and fear based upon past experiences. Because of like difficult past experiences you have, I think you have this fear that you can't have this emotional fulfillment in the future. And your soul's trying to tell you that's not the case. This Ten of Cups did come out on top of this Ten of Swords. And I feel like your soul is telling you that you may be re-wounding yourself with past events that maybe you even healed and released that are coming back. And I think your soul is telling you to remind your logical brain that life doesn't always make sense. And just because you've had certain past experiences doesn't mean they'll come back. And in fact, I feel like these past experiences that you may be plagued by are over and in the past. And your soul's trying to tell you that you're headed towards a path of happiness and emotional fulfillment. And you don't need external validation of that. And the more your logical brain looks for that external validation, I think the more you'll fall into feelings of doubt and fear. So I feel like you're really being encouraged by your soul to trust in this vision of emotional fulfillment and happiness, this beautiful Ten of Cups energy, instead of allowing your past memories or your past fears to be what defines you, or what defines your belief of what your future experiences can be. Really, the biggest thing blocking you is doubt and fear. And I think when you feel doubts or fear or negative past experiences trying to validate those doubts and fears, I think that's a challenge from the universe to sit in love, to be open to what your angels are saying, what your guides are saying, whatever your inner loving guidance is telling you. Because you know how to follow it, you know how to trust it. It's just that doubt and fear might steer your vision away from what's really true and hold you back and kind of exhaust your energy. So let's get another message from your soul and see what it wants to tell you, because it's probably just validating what you already know. Okay, I love this. So dragonflies could also be a significant sign, but with the Eight of Wands here, your soul is saying think less and do more. Take action even if it doesn't make sense. Because I think this action is what is leading to you being open to these higher energies. The truth in whatever you're doing will always shine through. When I think of dragonflies, I think of truth and I think of light. And as long as you're flying towards the light, as long as you're flying towards what is true for you, you cannot go wrong. But I also think that this is a message saying that things are going to be happening quicker than you realize. And so you really are being encouraged to take time to rest and take time to recuperate, because I think things are going to start picking up and you're going to be going a mile a minute. And I think really enjoying the process. But if I'm being honest, I think this time for rest and downtime is going to be really crucial before this period happens, so that you can really utilize this time when these expansions and upgrades come in, so that you can, really make your mark and do what you're set out to. But I feel like anything you're feeling called to take action towards, your soul is saying, yes, please take action towards that. Like, stop considering it and just do it. Like, just freaking do it. And yeah, I feel like Spirit is saying anything that fills you up with light, you can take action towards. And I feel like you just need to give yourself more permission to take action without justifying it to your logical brain. So Guidance. Okay, so yeah, I was gonna ask for guidance, but it came out. The only guidance that your soul has is just to remember what's going right and try to focus less on what's going wrong. When you're attached to outcomes, that can lead to more disappointment. Expectations are premeditated resentments. So I think your soul is really just encouraging you to be open to the possibilities of what could be, instead of worrying about things happening a certain way or putting requirements on the universe, bringing your manifestations in a certain way. I kind of love how similar this penguin card is to this Five of Cups. But I feel like, your soul is really saying to remember what is going well. Do not get lost in what hasn't gone your way or what has gone wrong in the past, your past disappointments, because you may lose sight of your present and what's going well there. But I also feel like your soul is reminding you that the things you're wanting or the things you're seeking may not always look how you originally anticipated it or how you picture it, but it will always be better than you thought. And so I feel like your soul is really just calling you to not only trust your internal guidance, but to trust that the universe has your best interests at heart, and that they're not leading you astray, and that even though something may not, the universe may bring you blessings in ways that you weren't anticipating, but they'll be far greater than anything that you pictured or you thought. And so I feel like your soul is really just reminding you that it can be easy to get lost in darkness or get lost in frustration. And I think it's important to nurture yourself when you're dealing with a lot of darker energies. But don't be afraid to sit in gratitude. Don't be afraid to look for the light. Like, you have light within you always. It just may be hard to be open to it, especially when you're dealing with a more difficult time. But I think Spirit is really saying that through these upgrades and through the expansion that you're going to be experiencing, I think it's going to help you see things in a more holistic way and trust the universe more, and kind of surrender the fears you have about things not happening the way you want, or things not going the way you planned, or things quote unquote failing. You can't fail. I think that's really what you need to know. So I am going to move on now and look at your guidance deeper, get some advice from the universe. So we're going to start with some self-forgiveness cards. So first we have, I forgive myself for feeling as though it is not safe for me to step out of line and be seen. I choose to believe that when I step out of what is familiar, I am able to playfully explore the different dimensions of my being so that I may discover a more authentic version of myself. And we have, I forgive myself for avoiding people and situations that may make me uncomfortable. I choose to believe that when I give myself permission to change my mind and commit to a new way of showing up in the world, I allow myself to be moved to where the possibility of deeper comfort exists. So yeah, I feel like you're going to be facing a lot of things and recognizing that they weren't as scary as you thought. We also have surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. We have listen to your heart. You're the only one who has the answer you're searching for. Quiet your mind and listen. It's there. We have relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So I would say, especially when relationships don't happen the way you want, or people don't show up the way that you'd hope, I feel like the universe is reminding you that rejection is divine protection. And not only that, sometimes goodbyes aren't goodbyes, they're just see you laters. And I feel like sometimes, you may energetically distance yourself from people without realizing, or the universe will, just because you both need time to grow and heal. And that doesn't mean you can't come back together when you're in a more aligned place. And I don't mean that in a romantic sense, but I feel like the universe, if you've been feeling lonely and feeling like you want more friends or just want more people in your life, the universe is attracting those people to you effortlessly. I feel like you just need to put yourself out there and open yourself up to the opportunity of receiving. And finally, we have Archangel Mary. Open your heart with compassion and enfold others with love. I think you're already wonderful at doing that, but I think that the universe is saying you're going to be deepening your capacity to be open to love. And not only that, I think that you're attracting more compassionate friends and people that can treat you with the same compassion that you give to others. And I think a really beautiful time is coming into your life where not only are you stepping into your power, but you're learning that you can take time for rest, that you can be kind to yourself, that power doesn't necessarily mean being brash. It means being compassionate. It means surrendering to your environment and using that environment to your strengths, and learning to go with the flow of the universe rather than trying to assert your will. Honestly, you're doing really great. I feel like you just need that reminder that like your soul is with you, your soul is here for you, the universe is here for you. It's honestly, your soul is so connected to the greater higher guidance of the universe. It's almost like your soul and spirit are interchangeable in a lot of ways, which, I mean, really you are a part of spirit. Your soul is a part of spirit, but yeah, you're doing really wonderfully. Don't be hard on yourself. And there's a lot of angelic energy around you. So any angels that you feel called to, feel free to pray to them or take time to sit in meditation with them, because I think that there are a lot of loving energies that not only want to give you guidance, but help you receive these energetic upgrades that you're about to receive and be open to this ascension and expansion. So pile 4, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me and my channel, but if you would like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, you can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my social media, though do be aware I have tons of scammers pretending to be me. Just know that I do not offer personal readings, and if someone is in your DMs claiming to be me and offering you a personal reading, that is not me. Just make sure when you go to my social media, you go to it from a YouTube video so you can be sure it's me. But my legit account is kind of obvious. Just know that if you follow me, like, you'll probably get 3 or 4 scammers following you pretending to be me. Those aren't me. And I have merch, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read your cards. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!